Let's dig into 5 reasons why it can be incredibly challenging to initiate or sustain a relationship if you have an eating disorder or are in eating disorder recovery. And then let's also chat about some things that you can do to help ease some of the burden that come along with dating with an eating disorder. My name is Shena, and I'm a registered dietitian that has specialized in the care of persons with the eating disorders for the past decade. So if that's something that you're interested in learning more about, definitely click that subscribe button now. Reason number one that dating with an eating disorder can be particularly challenging is that food is connection. Food is the number one way, both culturally, socially, and throughout families, that we connect with other individuals. Our relationship with food is askew. Many times, our relationship with everyone else is askew. So when we're thinking about initiating a relationship or the relationship we already have with a romantic partner, this can be incredibly challenging. Eating disorder on board, it can often mean avoiding social situations, which means that we're not able to connect in those social environments with our partner in the same way that other individuals in a romantic relationship might be. Food is often a source of extreme stress and anxiety, and it is also one of the things that we do most frequently throughout the day. And so, if we're thinking 3 meals and 3 snacks, coupled with anxiety, fear, guilt, shame, depression, etc., in for a lot of turmoil, if we're bringing another person on board, it can be really difficult sometimes for a romantic partner to understand this, for us to not bestow frustration onto a romantic partner, because oftentimes, while very well intended, they are trying to initiate some of these social interactions or interactions around food. This is, however, going to be very triggering for our eating disorder. So it is going to be something that we're going to want to brace ourselves if we're in a relationship and we have an eating disorder on board. Reason that it can be incredibly challenging to date with an eating disorder on board or in recovery is body image concerns. Many times the eating disorder is telling us to be in smaller bodies, to change our body weight, shape, or size, and that our body is continually flawed no matter how much work we put into maintaining the demands of the eating disorder. Being in a romantic relationship is at our highest vulnerability when it comes to our body. The eating disorder is telling us things like you're fat, you're not good enough, etc. And we are trying to connect with someone on a deep, personal, intimate level, which involves our body at the forefront. And this can be incredibly challenging for creating both a physical and a psychological connection with an eating disorder on board. Partner may also not fully understand our eating disorder. It may make comments about our body, while well intended, that can trigger that eating disorder no matter what they are. So even if they're saying something like, you look beautiful, you look so healthy, great job, and going for a workout, etc., our eating disorder is going to automatically translate that to you're fat, make sure you don't change your body, because then your partner may no longer be attracted to you. In fact, that eating disorder actually will come in and hijack any comment that the partner makes and serve it to fit its own need to help force you to continue meeting the demands of the eating disorder. So, for example, your partner says something like, I love you in that dress, it is so gorgeous on you. The eating disorder may ultimately hijack that and say, they're lying, I need to be at a smaller weight, etc., which can make it incredibly challenging to form that connection with our partner. The third reason that it can be incredibly challenging to date with an eating disorder is sex and lack of libido. If we are starving or malnourished, we are simply not going to have a high libido. We are probably not going to want sex, and especially for men, there can be some sexual dysfunction. There are also other major medical concerns that might come into play, such as things like hypometabolism, where our blood sugars are going low, and it can actually be dangerous to be engaging in physical activity such as sex, and maybe even experiencing lightheadedness, dizziness, etc., as we try to engage physically with a partner. On top of that, if we are naked and we are engaging with a partner, that can be where we feel the ultimate guilt and shame around our bodies. And this can make it incredibly difficult to sustain romantic relationships. The fourth reason why it is incredibly difficult to maintain romantic relationships with an eating disorder in recovery is mood and irritability shifts. Oftentimes we see highs and lows. Irritability is tenfold as we are beginning a eating disorder recovery process, and we have many mixed emotions about what it means to put food into our body and potentially see our body change it. If you have an eating disorder and you are malnourished, irritability is almost a sure thing. So this can make it incredibly difficult to be kind and compassionate at all times with our partner because we are just feeling so frustrated with ourselves, with those around us, our ability to function with this eating disorder on board. The fifth reason that it can be particularly challenging to date with an eating disorder is oftentimes our partner may unfortunately be handed the role of somewhat of a caregiver. This is especially true if this is the only person that is close to us and we are needing meal support, especially in those early stages of our eating disorder recovery when we begin to increase our energy intake. This can feel incredibly challenging for us because that person that is providing the support might feel like the meanest person in the world. It might feel very, very frustrating that you're no longer in control of what you can put into your body, and you may begin to feel some resentment towards that partner. Even if your partner is not your main support, you may be kind of pushed into this role a bit. They're engaging in activities like dining out with you or prepping a meal. Lots and lots of emotions can come out during these times, and you may unintentionally feel a resentment or irritability around these meal times with your partner. While there's no perfect solution to some of these challenges when it comes to relationships and eating disorder recovery, there are some things that we can do. One of the things that I recommend first and foremost, even if this is the only thing to do, is make a truce between you and your partner that we are not going to be commenting on bodies, talking about bodies, and that includes bodies of anyone. We are not going to be commenting on our own bodies. We will not comment on our partner's body. And you can kind of stretch this criteria as far as you like. This can be incredibly helpful if we just have this always on the table and we know that bodies are not going to be discussed. We can do the same thing for food. Please do not comment on quantities that I'm eating, what type of food I'm eating, or any of my mealtime behaviors unless that person is working with a skilled provider to help provide you with meal support, and that is their role. The thing that I encourage, especially in those most intimate moments, is ask yourself, even though that I am feeling stressed, anxious, and I feel a lot of emotions around my body, can I just put these on a shelf just for these few minutes while I'm engaging in these activities? And I can always come back to those negative thoughts. I hope that this video was helpful for you. If you liked this video, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing with a friend.